Pete Hegseth is succeeding. He's making us the finest fighting force on the planet. Here's breaking news. President Trump backing Pete Hegseth live from the Easter egg roll. Great job, team, getting that clip. Thank you for that in real time. Play cut 144.
I mean, I hear they're doing that whole thing again. Here we go again. Just a waste of time. He is doing a great job.
Why do you still have confidence?
Because he's doing a great job. Thank you. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Ask the Houthis how much dysfunction there's none. Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers I think they've had in 28 years. No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news. They just bring up stories. I guess it sounds like disgruntled employees. You know, he was put there to get rid of a lot of bad people, and that's what he's doing. So you don't always have friends when you do that.
Should he stop?
One more piece here about the wokeism, then I do want to focus on Iran, which, again, we on this program, we have a very clear moral standard. Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon. But you got to keep Lindsey Graham and Tom Cotton away because they right there and their staff, they're beating the war drums. There is an undercurrent to try to take out everyone around Pete Hegseth and eventually do an encirclement around the Pentagon so that they can have a clear shot at bombing Iran. And then, look, once you bomb Iran, that's a declaration of war. What do you get next? We don't know. You might get troops. You might get movements. You can't play games with this stuff. A war with Iran would break the back of this administration. One more on I just want to remind you what our military was becoming. Morale was down. Recruitment was down. We were a sad fighting force under Joe Biden. And very quickly, President Trump, entrusting Pete Hegseth, has brought it back. Play cut 136.
Not a day goes by that I'm not grateful to be serving at this period of time. Being able to undergo a full gender transition beyond hormones, laser hair removal, Botox, lip injections, hair lowering, like literally cannot be more thankful to be alive now.
So for those of you on radio or podcasting, you're very blessed that you did not have to see that. This is a member of the military talking about the lip injections and the gender transition and how thankful that military member is to be alive, whatever rubbish that is, hair removal. That's what our military was, that Pete Hegseth inherited. All funded by taxpayers. The military is no longer a safe space for this radical woke ideology. We're back to not hair removal, but terrorist removal. Not gender transition, but enemy elimination. Lethality at all costs. But Pete Hegseth is a prudent man. You see, of course, it is not inevitably, but it is President Trump's final decision whether or not we go to war with Iran. He doesn't want to do that. But understand all of the machinery around President Trump can be very persuasive and can be incredibly powerful in how military decisions are made. Let's play cut 112 here. I think it's around Iran. No, I'm sorry, that's something else. That's Pete Hegseth defending himself at the egg roll. I do want to play that. But let me just say this very, very quickly. The people around the president matter. Back in the first term, it was Mad Dog Mattis and Mike Pence that were literally launching a collusive conspiracy to try and get President Trump to support keeping troops in Afghanistan. Let's play cut 112.
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputation.
And Pete Hegseth is right there. He is pushing back against the media attacks because people that he fired for leaking to the media are now attacking him. Okay, great. But that's not really what's going on here. It's a level deeper. He knows it. It's about the warmongers that never wanted him. Remember, Pete Hegseth was at a 50-50 vote. Do you remember what we had to do on this program? You remember the effort, the energy, the intensity, the vigor, the spunk, the spirit, the mobilization? It was supposed to be the era of good feelings. It was December. We just won the election. I was in Palm Beach. You guys were nicely supporting our program. And we felt as if the fights were over. But no, we mobilized the cavalry. We mobilized the infantry, metaphorically. And we said Pete was a red line. And we said, oh, Joni Ernst, I don't think you want to do this. And boy, did she make a 180 very quickly. She did not realize, poof, she touched the stove and realized it was scalding hot. They did not want Pete Hegseth all along because they knew that he was not one of them. That Pete Hegseth is actually a grassroots warrior, number one. Number two, he's a fighter's fighter. And he doesn't want a war with Iran. That's why they try to take him out then and now, and we have his back.